what's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Child of Mecha live stream. I'm your host, Tim, the one and only Child of Mecha. Let's get this going. After a week off, we're back in the saddle for another 3 weeks, right? So hopefully you guys had a great week. I know I did. Got a bunch of stuff done, so y'all can't roast me. Let's see. What do we work on this week? A lot of home stuff. Fair warning, a lot of home stuff, and a lot of real life stuff, right? Let's see, let's go down the list. Got the kitchen and our living room painted. We had it painted. I didn't paint it myself, but we had it painted. That was last Monday. Looks really good, by the way. Let's see, fully degreased all the kitchen cabinets in the top of the kitchen, or the top of the fridge. For those of you that know what I'm talking about, nasty. Did that. They look great now. Got new tires, got new brakes on the car. That's good for another few years maybe. Hopefully, shit. But the good stuff is I made some serious headway on the official decal sheets. You know, the Federation and the Xeon sheets. Made some good headway on those. Recorded a little bit. Recorded some podcasts, some solo podcasts. Recorded a little bit of video. Editing. Hopefully the podcast should be up on Patreon in the next few days. So if you're a Patreon member, look forward to that. Let's see, what else? Yeah, just generally a good week. Got a lot of shit done. So, yeah, successful. So we'll continue to do this. All right, we're going to jump back into the GM Quel. Worked a little bit on this week. So mostly it was matching details and stuff like that. Very little new stuff. But, the bit of new stuff that I did over the week, I'll show you guys. But we're moving ever closer, and I think we're really, really close. But we'll show you that here in a minute. But let's get some business out of the way first, yeah? So if you are interested in any of the tools and materials that we usually work with on a daily basis, hit up the Amazon link below here in the description, that side if you're watching on Facebook. There's a lot of cool stuff in there. Like I said, tools and materials, gear for streaming if you're into it, and books for inspiration. Now, I do get a bit of a commission based off the stuff that you buy, but it does not increase the cost for you, and it just goes to help support the stream. Aside from that, we're rocking the Chibi Jesta. Yes, sir. And James, Mr. Spider 2K, thank you. I saw your order for one of these. Appreciate that, buddy. And hey, if you want to be like James and if you want to rock the Chibi Jesta, go hit up www.childofmecha.com, hit the store button up at the top, and you will find the Chibi Jesta and many more. You'll find the Mecha Decals insignia line. You'll find the Ace Pilot series line. You'll find other shirts, hats, prints of my work, all sorts of fun stuff. So go load up. And then finally, if you really want to show your support for what we do here, go hit up the Child of Mecha Patreon. A lot of good stuff going on over there. Giveaways, hangouts, which we're going to be scheduling that for this coming weekend. So if you are on that Let's Hang Out tier, expect an email in the next day or two. And then also giveaways. I got to do that for last month. So expect to post on that, you guys, on Patreon and everything. Yeah. So man, go if you have the means to do so, and in the inclination, you like what we do here, man. Go hit up the Child of Mecha Patreon. It would really mean a lot. All right. So and then lastly, but not Leastly. If that's a word. I don't know. If you're into kits, tools, paints, Mecha Decals, sheets 1, 2, and 3. They're all available right down here at USA Gundam Store. Adam and the fine folks down there will definitely have what you need. So, go load up on that stuff too. All right, so James, he says, planning on wearing it at MosquitoCon in July. Hey, then James, I will see you there. Yeah, so for those of you guys on the East Coast or maybe even on the West Coast, MosquitoCon is coming up in at the end of July, July 31st in Wayne, New Jersey. I've never been to one, but have a bunch of friends that have, and they really enjoy it. And honestly, it's the first kind of convention, meetup type of thing that we've had in over a year. So, like, I am really looking forward to it. Because I need to see people, you know, and I'm sure I'm not the only one. I need to see my friends, you know? So, come on out to that. A lot of people are coming to that this year. A lot of people are coming down from New York. I know the fabulous Miss Tex Merquise is coming all the way from California to be there. Yeah. So she'll be there. That'll be a whole lot of fun. It's always fun with her around. So if you can get down to Wayne, New Jersey on July 31st, I highly suggest and highly encourage that you do. Yeah. Hey, Silver Maverick, Mr. Ricardo, he says, you'll get to see what I've been working on for the last 3 months. Spoilers, it's my car. Hey, but that's a hell of a car, though, Ricardo. I'm not going to lie. Yeah. You spent a shit ton of money on that car, so it better be nice. Hey, look at that. Cullen Barr, thank you, brother. He's a $10 Patreon. What up? Nice. Hey, Cullen, for that, you know what? You get one of these, brother. Yeah! We don't pull that out nearly as much as we should. That didn't sound right. Anyway, we don't play the Mecha Army thing as much as we should. Jesus. About to get demonetized here. What are you pulling out, Tim? Anyway, Mr. Geo Howard, he's over there on Twitter. He's like the only one over there on Twitter. He says, hope you had a good weekend there. Dude, I did. Thank you. I appreciate you, buddy. Michael Dawson's with us over there on YouTube. How goes it, everybody? Sam Mel says, keep it in your pants. Oh, trust me, dude. I 100% intend to. Let's see. Greg Blair says, dang it, it's Saturday. I'll be stuck at work. Dude, you got time to request off, Greg. Come on, brother. Let's go. Let's see. Seth Builds, he's over there on Twitch. What's up, Seth? He's flashing the Mecha Army logo over there for us. The emote. He says, hit up Child of Mecha OnlyFans too. Hey. You don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. Trust me, you don't want to do that. Ugh. I don't want to do that. But yeah, man. Like I said, if you get to Wayne, New Jersey on July 31st, it's going to be a hell of a lot of fun. I know... let's see. I know... what is it? Brian, Mr. Bro Builder's coming down. Julio's coming down. Mr. Clip and Nubs. I don't know. I think maybe Manny and Julio too. Mr. Julio Galopoulos or whatever. Julio 2. I love Julio to death, but yeah. But Julio 1, maybe Julio 2 will be there. I know Ricardo, Mr. Silver Maverick, he said he's going to be there. James 2.0, Mr. Spider 2K2 is going to be there. I would probably expect Mr. Squeak, Chris Robledo, our boy Quel, he'll probably be there. Ray, Mr. Ray, Ray Charles, Blind Ray Charles, whatever, on Instagram, Ray. I'm pretty sure that Mr. Strider Prime, Johanny will probably be there, like I said. The amazing Tex Marquise will be there. I'll be there for whatever that's worth. And we're trying to get Z and Pabs to come out, but I don't know. Pabs is being a little bitch. So if you have the time, maybe even now, go message Pabs and tell him to stop being a little bitch and come out to MosquitoCon. Do that for me. I'd really appreciate that. Just a quick message. And tell him, stop being a bitch. Tell him I said so. Anyway. Oh, man. Greg Blair says a Saturday on the last day of the month, not in the car biz. Oh, yeah, dude. Okay, yeah, no. I get it. I get it. Totally get it, yeah. Seth Builds over there on Twitch. The trauma, yeah, of a child of Mecha OnlyFans. Woo, yeah. That would be traumatic. Let's see. Don Zwergo, he's with us over there. What's up, Don? He says, are you done with judging? Yes, I am. Yes. Finished that on Saturday, like I said. I think me, Pabs, and Zach are having a online meeting tomorrow to whittle it down. So basically we chose like our top 10 or so from all the entries, and they were really good entries, by the way. And so I whittled mine down to top 8. It wasn't really all that difficult to get there. There were some that were right on the cusp, but that was just like, I don't know about this one. And then you had to look, really kind of zoom into the pictures and see if the clean is actually clean. There were a few that looked clean from far, but you zoom in and they were good from far, but far from good, right? Anyway, Don Zorgo says, so you seen my blitz? Probably, Don. Probably. I'll be honest with you, I ripped through it. I triaged the whole thing. So basically what triage judging is it's something you have to do when you have a ton of entries. And we had over 200 entries in the clean category alone. I think there were almost 200 in the weathered. I know the clean had a lot more, like 20 or 30 more. So there was a ton in there, a ton. So I had to triage the whole thing. So, they were in a Google, on Google Drive. So they each were in, individual folders and everything. So click on the folder, take a quick look at the pictures, and just say yes or no, right? And like, is this a winner or not? Does this particular model have room to improve, right? So the answer was yes. Sorry, not this time. But if the answer was kind of no, well then, you know what? I put it on my list. And at the end of the judging, I had probably 12 or 14 that I had. And then I got that down, like I said, me personally, I got my list down to 8. So the top 8. And there's some really, really good ones in there. Really good ones. I've got my personal favorite in terms of who the winner is, and this person just knocked it out of the park, blew it out of the water, knocked the cover off it, whatever euphemism you want to impart on this thing. That the piece is really impressive and extremely clean. So and the photography was really good too. So that's another kind of thing that either it's not necessarily judged, but it can go for you or against you, because if your photography's not good, then how are we going to see the details and see if it's really clean or not? You see what I mean? So good photography does lend itself in part to proper judging. Now, obviously, when you're in person and you're judging, that has nothing to do with it because you're not looking at a photograph. But online, yes, your photography does need to be somewhat decent, at very least clear, right? So that we can see you know, the finish and the details and all that, right? I mean, if it's just a simple, you know, potato, you know, flip phone, you know, 240p little pixel, you know, little picture from your flip phone, is not gonna cut it. I'm sorry, you guys, it's just not gonna cut it. I'm just being real with you. But you know, a picture, even a picture on, you know, modern cell phones, are really good pictures. You can get very, very clear pictures. So that's, you know, something that we unfortunately don't, you know, it's not something we judge on, but unfortunately it's something that we have to consider, the clarity of the pictures so that we can see what we're judging. So, but yeah, so hopefully we'll have some winners soon-ish. But yeah, over 200. I think it was like 220, 230 on the clean side, something like that. I don't remember off the top of my head, but there were a lot of good entries. And if you entered, man, thank you for entering. It was awesome to see. Especially, it was really awesome to see all the Mecha Decals on all of the clean builds. That was really cool to me. Like, I was just like, yo, there it is. Oh, that's mine. And then several of them had the insignias on them, which was like, I was really, hey, you know, it was good. It was really good, really, really good. So, just be patient on that. Give us a little bit more time, and we'll get the winners announced soon. I'm sure Zach will do all that. And then at some point, I know Zach and I will be on Critical Builds with Pabs and the boy. Hey, speaking of the devil, there's Pabs. So yeah, so we'll be, me and Zach will be on Critical Builds at some point in the near future to talk about the clean side of the contest. And just, you know, basically break down, I think, the winners and some of the other entries and stuff like that, and just talk about them and say kind of what we liked, what, you know, the person could improve upon. You know, it'll be a critical build. Critical builds. Critiqual builds or whatever. Anyway, so yeah, so shout out to Pabs. But yeah, so that was kind of the breadth of my week. So it was a good week. It was a good week off. Good week off. But I'm happy to be back, and I'm happy to be building with you guys. So, without any further ado, it's French, by the way. Let's get into it, yeah? Let's go camera 2. Booyah. Okay, so let's talk about what we've done over the week in terms of getting everything matched, right? So, the legs especially have... Oh, crap. I forgot to turn the field monitor over here. So I can't look at this and see what's on screen. I have to look back over here, so bear with me one moment. And whoop, there we go. Cool. Have it in the right orientation. All right, so with that being said, here the backs of the legs, those are nicely matched. Looking quite nice. This is the original. This is the matched version. Obviously, you know, there's some dust in there and stuff like that, but it's looking pretty good. Matched also the side of the legs, and then obviously the front, and then the other side. So all that's matched. Both of these are looking good. Still have to match down here the scribe lines and stuff like that down there. But otherwise, the thrusters here on the back are matched nicely, looking good. Starting to match the scribe around the bottom here and everything. So that's going pretty decently. Had a few mess ups here and there. I don't know if you're going to be able to see this on camera, but when I did, there it is. When I did the circular panel line here, I accidentally went straight through the end, and I forgot that I had this box on top here. So the scribe line was straight through here, and you can kind of vaguely, I don't know if you can or not now, but I filled that with super glue, rescribed everything out. Let's see if you can see it on this side a little bit. Maybe not. Doesn't look like it. Let's see if, you know. No, it just disappears when you do it right. But it went straight across, and had to fill that with super glue, sand it down. That's all looking nice now. So yeah, this thing is starting to look like the other one. So that's looking really good. And then let's see what else we did here. Let's see what else. Oh yeah, so on the backpack here, created this little grab bar, and I think it's honestly more like a hoist point or something like that. So like when the backpack is off, you can come in with a crane and clip onto that and just lift that into place or whatever. So added that on there, and then I also added this little photo etch ring on top of this circular detail, and that fits really nicely on there because it's flush with that bevel there. So once this thing is primed and painted, that'll just seamlessly fit in and just look like it's supposed to be there, right? So that's I think that looks really, really nice right there, that little photo etch detail. And then I added just some little hoist points on the sides, and I'll probably be adding a couple more little photo etch details here and there, but that's what I've got thus far. Oh, and actually, one of the big things that I did over the weekend, and this one was kind of what took some time, was scribed the head. Let's get this guy pulled off of here because it's so much easier to show this way here. Yeah, there we go. But it's so dark. But anyway, let's see if we can't. Let's see, is this all the way zoomed in? Now it is. All right. So, let's see. Did a scribe line right around here, kind of like a border scribe around here to separate that the front of that vent. So that looks really good there. A couple notches in the top visor. I just thought those looked cool. Little notch right up here on the little head crest, and I know it's pretty much impossible to see on this dark of a piece, but outline scribed this whole thing here, and then outline scribed the visor and all of this. You can see right there in the highlights, I did the same kind of border scribe around to separate the vents and everything. And then I know it's really tough to see, but I wrapped panel lines all the way around. So one here, and then one up at the top, and I just wrapped those right around. But then you've got some big panel doors on the back here that those terminate into, and then they also extend around to this side as well. Some notches here up at the top just to separate things, make them all look good. And then when I went ahead and did this surface here, this middle surface, that was lowered already around the intake of the head, and then the rest of this was all flush. So I went ahead and just extended that out along the seam line and just lowered that whole thing. And I think that looks pretty good. I really like the way that looks, right? And then to top all this off, I went ahead and scribed some panel lines here on the back of the neck, and then a little bit on the front here, a couple notches here and there. So the head, I think, looks really, really quite nice. Very happy with it. That fits the overall aesthetic of this whole thing, right? So yeah, I really, really like how that's looking. And then obviously once we get this primed and painted, we'll put in the metal vernier cannons in the head, and that'll just really make this whole thing pop. And yeah, so it looks really, really good. So we're not too far off this thing, you guys. We are getting really, really, really close on this. Honestly, I think the shoulders are done. The upper arms are done. Oh, which, by the way, I should probably show you those. So here are the sides of the upper arm. And then there's the front, obviously. And then the back that we've shown before. But the side is what I worked on over the week. And yeah, I think that fits the aesthetic. So now we just have to work on the forearm a little bit and get that kind of where we need it to be at this point. And then, you know, just final matching, and then this detail balancing. And if, you know, obviously if you don't know what detail balancing is, it's just basically looking at the model as a whole and just balancing out the level and type of details, right? So with this particular piece, we went pretty heavy on scribing, and not so much on, you know, the raw plastic on things. The most that we did, obviously, was the knee right here. That's where the most modification in terms of, you know, adding plastic and stuff on this entire model comes into play. Every place else has been like little doodads here and there, you know, fillers in the shoulder, some details on the cockpit, little strips down here on the side, you know, the hoist bar, these little half rounds, you know, nothing too insane when it comes to adding plastic, other than obviously the knee. But we did go pretty hog on the scribing and everything, obviously, you know, with the feet and the legs and all that stuff, you know, especially the upper legs. I mean, that's all just scribed in, you know, details and stuff like that. There's actually no added plastic on there. I mean, this is just a patch, because I come on, focus. There we go. That's just a patch in the plastic. Once that's painted over, you'll never know that it's there. So realistically, this is what it's supposed to look like. But, you know, slips here and there, you understand. So that's kind of where we are with things, you guys. It's coming to a close very, very quickly. Very quickly. So, let's see. With that being said, let's get caught up with the chat, yeah? Let's see. Where do we leave off? Let's see. Spider2K2, Mr. James 2.0, Pabs, you should come to Mosquito Con. Yes, I agree. Don't be a bitch, Pabs. Get out there. Kevin Branham says, I'm retired, can't make it to any cons, lots of nothing to do. Hey, man, I envy you, buddy. Pabs says, critique in quality. Well, aren't we special? Critical builds. I get it. Sam L it was weird not having the live streams, though, not gonna lie. Sorry, brother. You know, trust me, though, once we get the wheels moving on this train, the content train, you won't miss me. Let's put it that way. You won't miss me. But, you know, obviously, if you've ever been on a train, getting those wheels turning and the train moving, hardest part. Once it gets going, it's hardly any stopping it. But getting it going, that's the tough part. So, let's see. Pabs says, LOL, I wish I could go. Shut up, Pabs. You're being a bitch. Talk to Z. Get him out. You guys get out here. Come on. Michael Dawson says, I found out how to properly thin folk art paints for the airbrush. So far, they're very durable, surprisingly. I wish I could agree with you, Mike. I wish I could, man. Folk art paints, for those of you that don't know, and I don't think that I have any anymore. I think I threw them all out. Yeah. So those folk art paint, for those of you in the States, that's the 99-cent little bottles of acrylic paint, craft paint, from places like Michael's and stuff. Eh, mm, it's craft paint. The pigment density is very low, and they're thick. So, I mean, if they work, I'll say this, Michael, if they work for you, rock it, dude, rock it. It's just not something that I personally would recommend, but if it works, right? Go with it. Spider2K2 says, if I can switch my work schedule to now, be able to go to the con, you can too, Pabs, right? Son of a bitch. Pabs says, I love to hang out with all of you as well as Tim, Brian, etc., but I have to save my limited PTOs for the maybe happening Mecha Modelers Expo. Yeah. Michael Dawson says it's so dark it came from the DC universe. Yeah, right. Spider2K2, Mr. James, completely understandable. I now have a 7-day on, 7-day off schedule, and I go back to work on Thursday. I have Sundays off in between, so I do get some sleep. There you go. Pab says balance is one of the hardest things to pull off. It's hard to tell when something's enough or isn't. It all comes with time. No, that's absolutely right. Absolutely right. Brandon's with us. What's going on, B? He says, got your thank you card, Tim. Thanks for all the badass stickers. Dude, you are welcome. No, thank you for the kind gifts and everything. I appreciate it, man. Pab says, of course we're special, fam. Thomas Staten, he's got a question for us.
We have a question.
He says, is a glow forge a reasonable investment? Pabs responded, if you're going to be etching a lot of things, then maybe. So for those of you that don't know what a glow forge is, it's a laser engraver / cutter. It's a desktop laser cutter, basically. It has internal exhaust filtering and things like that, which is very important when considering laser cutting or etching, because not only can those fumes be noxious and toxic, they can also fuck with the laser and the accuracy of your etch or cut. The Glowforge is, from what I've seen in terms of reviews and stuff like that, a very reputable company and very reputable, dependable product. Thomas, I would say this: if you are only looking at it to cut things like plastic for Gunpla or modeling or something like that, then I'd probably say no. It's a few $1,000s last time I looked. So, and laser cutters have a tough time with polystyrene because the melting point of polystyrene is so low, on the temperature spectrum. But if you have any other plans for it, say like, cutting like wood shapes, cutting acrylic, etching into materials like leather or wood or something like that, then maybe it might be. I've seen people invest in laser cutters and create a nice little etching business for themselves, a little side hustle. So, it's a pro and con type of thing. And it's really going to come down to what your intentions and needs are. So, yeah, that's kind of where I am with laser cutters. Mind you, I had a laser cutter. I was the keeper of the laser cutter for work, and I tried my damnedest to get that thing to cut, polystyrene. It just melted it. It just left more of a mess than anything, and the cuts never came out super accurate because of the melting of the polystyrene and everything. And I tried all sorts of different settings and speeds and this, that, and the third. I could just never get the hang of it. Never get it. So lasers have a tough time with polystyrene. Now with things like thin wood, like balsa or something like that, or to etch into wood, or acrylic, they all have obviously higher melting temperatures, so they do really well with the laser. Especially acrylic, man. You can get some really nice stuff cut out of acrylic. Really nice etching in wood surfaces and things. Yeah, you can do a lot of stuff with that. And then on leather goods and stuff, doing, engraving leather, and cutting leather even. I've seen some really, really nice results with that. So if you're into any of that other stuff, it might be a good investment. You never know. But if it's only for modeling, then I'd probably say not. It's a little bit too much. A little bit too much. Yeah. It's like buying a Ferrari when you only have to drive 5 minutes every day. It's a little bit too much horsepower. So, let's see. Sperion's with us over there on YouTube. He says, I paid around 50 cents for those folk art, etc. paints and have a big box of them, and they tend to suck hard, but work in a crunch. Really good for dioramas or practicing your color theory. Absolutely, yeah. No, I mean, for dioramas and stuff, that have a lot of surface area simply because of the organic makeup of the thing. Those work actually pretty well, and they come in a ton of different colors too. So yeah, they work pretty decently for dioramas and stuff. Pab says 3 to 4K though. Give me my Dymo tape label. Yeah. And Thomas Satin says thank you for the info, dude. You're welcome. Somebody's messaging me here. Who is messaging me? Oh, it's AA Ron on the Clean versus Weathered private chat there. Mr. AA Ron. Aaron Simons, for those of you that don't know. Good dude. Asperion says, freaking laser beams! Right? So, anyway. Alright, let's get to building. It's, It's 11:47. Cool. Excuse me. Alright. So, with that being said, let's get our eyes on here, and let's show you what we're gonna do, what we're working on here this fine evening. We're working on the forearm. Yes? Yes. Anyway, there's something that I do want to show you here that's a bit hard to see there, but you might be able to see it right there, but it's a little hard on screens, right? On screen. Uncle Aaron. Yeah, right, Pabs? But let's get super zoomed in and I'll show you the crispy detail, yeah? Bloop. There we go. Let's fix that focus. Right about there. Yeah, it looks good enough. Fuck it. Anyway. So, this is what we're going to be working on a little bit here. This little scribed in detail here. Get the dust out of there. And this is basically just a version of a micro panel, right? Oh my god, I'm gonna have to mute this this Facebook chat. I swear to God. Pabs, Jesus. All right, mute. There we go. For 8 hours, mute. There we go. Excellent. So now I won't get that annoying bling every time somebody chats in the group chat. Anyway, back to this. So this is just basically a micro panel that I scribed in. Did a perimeter scribe all the way around the front of the forearm here, essentially to make like a cuff almost, right? And that goes all the way around. And it just looks, I think that looks really, really good. But wanted to do something a little extra on this top part, this little extension in the panel line. See, obviously it elevates up there and all the way across. So what I went ahead and did was this. What was that at 4 millimeters? Let's get this out of here. The wrist guard, because that just messes everything up. Come on. Come on, you. There we go. Get that out of there. And then, let's see. Using the scribing jigs. Nope, that's probably 3.5 then. 3.5? Yep. Money. So this is the baseline is 3.5 millimeters from the bottom of the forearm, right? And that just goes all the way around. And then, we have a little 1 millimeter little piece of Dymo tape, little trapezoidal thing that I put right on here, scribe around that, and then based off of that, where is the 4.5? Is this 4.5? Yeah, there's 4.5. So there's the baseline on that. We go up another 0.5 millimeter, I believe. Yes, another 0.5 millimeter, and create basically a box with the 0.15, right? So we extend the sides up, and then the box, right? And then that leaves you with just this nice little rectangular scribed shape in there. And then to get those notches on the side there, we come in with the 0.60 and basically just chisel out right out of there, just about I'd say that's probably what 0.75 of a millimeter on both sides. And then that little rectangle that is left there, I just bisected that with a simple 0.15 little panel line right there. So I think that looks really, really good so far, and I'm very happy with that particular detail. I'm also pretty happy with these little notches right here, because I don't know why, but I just like the look of these, and these are on both sides. Right? I just, for some reason, it's just, I don't know. It hits mechanically for me. And I kind of like the look of that. So, this is something that we're going to be starting on here tonight. And we're going to be working our way through this. I'm going to show you how to accomplish this particular detail and everything. So we're going to duplicate it on the other arm, right? So, with that being said, let's get out of Super Zoom here. Go back to 1x and back to here. Let's get everything back. Michael Dawson says, I'm thinning the Folk Arts paint with window wiper fluid. So basically, kind of like Windex, yeah? While using SMS primer, not sure if the wiper fluid has a special effect on the paint or not. So far, it's passing the fingernail test. So that's good. That's a good thing, right? Essentially, it's kind of like Windex, I'd probably say. When I used to use craft paint way back in the day, if I remember correctly, Windex was the stripping chemical of choice back in the day. You're talking early 2000s. Yeah. Like Windex or some other generic glass cleaner. Window wiper fluid is essentially the same type of thing. That all obviously has alcohol in it. I think that Windex has a bit of ammonia in it as well. You can kind of smell it. And obviously it's a high percentage of alcohol. So, you're imparting that alcohol base into those acrylic paints. So you're almost making a pseudo Tamiya in that respect. It's the same type of idea how I mix Tamiya with Mr. Color leveling thinner. The thinner imparts the the almost qualities of lacquer paint into Tamiya, and creates kind of like a pseudo lacquer, right? It gives it much higher durability. That's the big thing. Cure time is sped up dramatically, and it's a lot smoother as well. So that's not necessarily surprising that wiper fluid, Windex, what have you, would work in that regard. But like I said, Mike, if it works, it works, man. If it works for you, then keep using it, because that's cheap paint. You can get 3 bottles of that for 1 bottle of Mr. Color, and you get a lot more per bottle too. So if it works, man. So yeah. All right. So with that being said, let's get on this. Yeah. Now, you know what? Obviously, you see the white stripe in there, all the way around. I forgot to mention this. This was a pre-molded, like thick ass panel line all the way around that I filled in, because I didn't like that. I didn't like that look. It looked garbage. So I filled that in with plastic and super glue. Super glue obviously along the long edges, and then just tacked in the little bevel areas here with a little bit more super glue, and it works flawlessly. This is super smooth, and as you can see by the highlights there, that passes the fingernail test, like Mike was saying, right? So very, very nice and smooth. Sanded this down, cut the super glue and the plastic down, sanded this down with some lower, like a 400 grit sandpaper, and then took that down to about 800, and then finished it off with the Minishima file plate. Yeah. So this is just super, just stupid smooth. And that's with all the surfaces I did, basically, except for this one, because the elbow part got in the way there. But every place else pretty much got the same style of treatment. For the shorter sides, obviously, I couldn't use the Minishima, but I did use a file on that, so came out real nice and tidy. All right, so with that being said, let's get into this. 3.5 millimeters is our guide level, right? Yes. Okay. So what we'll do is we will start by taking the wrist collar out. Get that out of there. Put that off to the side. Now this is the one thing that I've kind of started liking to do here, and that's just basically scoring your panel line. You just take your hobby knife, and this one is, obviously USA Gundam Store. Hey, but use the back of the knife and just lightly score, and you are left with just a very light line. I mean, you can even hardly see it there, right? There you go. That's better. You can hardly see it there, and that'll sand out. Like, if you don't want that, that'll sand out instantly, right? Just a nice little light score all the way around here, just to give us a visual indication of what this is going to look like, and it'll help us also with placing the pieces of Dymo tape as well. And it will also aid us in transitioning these lines over the bevels, because I find that's usually the hardest thing. And this side, since we're going at a rough angle here, obviously, this is the scribing dig is raised off the surface, but since we're using this end as our guide, that's where we have to go, right? Obviously, all these other three sides are, not a challenge, but this top side is definitely the bigger challenge in, matching up these panel lines and meeting them up and everything like that. So what we got to do, score that right around there, and then work with the bevels. And this right here is kind of the hardest one to match these lines up. And right there you can kind of see we did that pretty well. There's a little gap right there, but once we get into actually scribing this thing, we can finesse that a little bit and work with this a little bit more, yeah. But there, that looks really nice and clean. That basically just looks like a straight line across there if you hold it at a right angle. So that right there, highly successful, right? All right. So we've got that done. Now we need to lay down our Dymo tape. And where did it go? I had it here. Well, here's one. Here's one right there. Ooh, there we go. There's two. Found them. All right, so obviously these are tiny pieces of Dymo tape. Like I said, they're about a millimeter in thickness. They're about a centimeter wide in length. And so what we're going to be doing, focus. There we go. We're going to be laying these down along the top edge of that panel line that we just kind of scored in, and we're going to use the scribing jig and the tape in unison, and we're going to form that panel line here. So itchy nose. With that being said, let's get one of these guys here without dropping it. My God, come on, there we go. And let's see. Get the backing tape off of there. And now what we want to do, obviously we've got our score line in there, right? So I'm going to actually set this a little bit below the score line. And then we're going to use the scribing jig to bump that up and get that at the appropriate height. But placing this horizontally across the piece is also very important. So let's get some measurements here. That's about 125, and that's about 1.5. So we're gonna just scoot this over just a hair. There we go. And then now this is slightly below that score line, and we're just going to use our scribing jig here, and we're just going to push that up into place, and there she is. Now I want to make sure that that is solid against the scribing jig, and then obviously properly adhered to the surface there. So there's what we're working with here. So we're essentially, what we're doing is we're using a two-part system. We're using obviously Colin's Mr. Hi Craig. He's on there in the YouTube chat. What's up, Colin? So we're using Colin's scribing jigs, but we're also using a little Dymo tape for the abstract shape, right? Now, obviously, you could use Colin's 45-degree angle scribing jigs as well, but for this type of thing, I kind of like to use this two-part system here. So, with that being said, let's get to cutting. 0.15, eyes down. Make sure we don't lose the other piece of Dymo tape that we cut ever so accurately. And then, so what I like to do with this is start with the baselines first. So that's running the lines right across the surface of the scribing jig. Okay, and then we'll start the other one on the other side here. Okay, we'll get rid of the scribing jig just temporarily, and we just want to make sure that these are right up to the piece of Dymo tape there. Oop, sorry. Okay, and that looks good. Now we're going to put the scribing jig back simply because this helps to stabilize this tape. And then we're going to come right... My visor keeps getting in the way. I'm sorry about that, you guys. But I got to see it. We're going to do the diagonals first. Okay. And then do the cross right across the top here. And then flip it around this way and get that panel, that tape slid down a little bit. So we're going to push that back up, get that restabilized, and scribe in that other diagonal. All right, so now that we've got our grooves set in here, we are going to remove this piece of Dymo. And there you can see the beginnings of this panel line, right? So now we're going to get this thing all properly connected and to a proper depth. So we're just going to go over these grooves. Make sure that the panel lines are all connected in the corners. Woo. Hey now. Ayo Mecha. What's up, Ariel? With the 12-person raid? What up? Yes, sir. Appreciate it. Welcome, everyone, from Ayo Mecha's live stream. Ariel says, hey, Tim and friends. Hey. Seth says, I'm back. How goes the scribing? Really good. Really good. So, yeah. Wicked Tiger 29, they're over there on Twitch. Raid, hi. Hey. Good stuff. Hey, Ariel, thank you, buddy. Appreciate you, man. Thank you for that little raid there. Nice. Cheers. Now, for the 10 of you that just joined us, welcome, number one. Number two, we're doing some scribing. I'm showing you guys how to properly attain that. And we're just getting the baseline scribed in here. So if you want to hang out and watch, feel free. But anyway, we're going to get back to this. So far, this is what we've got. We're still in the beginning stages of this. Like I said, creating the baseline here. And we're basically getting this panel line to depth, to a proper depth. Right now, so far, it's just grooved into the surface. And that's not great when it comes to panel lines. Having just a groove in there, when you go to sand this thing down for final, for your surface prep for priming and everything, you want, a decently set in panel line so it doesn't get sanded out. I mean, you're not gonna take an angle grinder to this thing, obviously, but the fact remains is that you want a decently deep panel line. The added benefit of that is that it will accept your panel lining fluid much easier, and it will flow through much easier as well, giving you just cleaner looking, better looking panel lines at the end of the day, which, let's be real, we're all looking for that, right? Okay. Now, I'm not going to wrap this panel line around the forearm right now. I want to show you guys how we get that micro panel scribed in there. Okay. All right. So there's our baseline, scribed in, to depth, looking good, right? So next thing we got to do is scribe in that micro panel there, right? That's what we're looking for. All right, so the baseline all the way around the perimeter is 3.5. The top of our little trapezoid there, 1 millimeter higher than that, that's at 4.5. So we're going up to 5 millimeter scribing jig here for the top end of our, actually no, we're going 5.5. Yeah, there we go. For the top side of our micro panel. So if we look at this and we break this down, there's that top scribe line there. Now, let me see something. Yeah, that looks good there. Four and a half. Here's the 5. I'm just double checking the measurements here, kids. Measure twice, scribe once. Yeah, okay. So that's 5. Oop. Son of a bitch. So I'm thinking we need to go. Yeah, we'll go 5.5. All right, so to get that top edge of that box, we're again going to do the little scratching trick there, and that gets you, a guide for the top edge of your box, right? Easy stuff. So we need the two ends here. Now for this, I think I came in 2 millimeters from the break point. Yes, 2 millimeters from the break point of the trapezoid. So we're gonna get one of our scribing jigs lined up here, and we're gonna push this down 2 millimeters from the break point of that trapezoid. So now there's 2 millimeters from that top corner, and we're going to scribe in one of our edges. Okay. Clean the gunk out of there. Extend that just a bit. So that'll be a nice stopping point for our chisel when we go to scribe the top of the box. Now we're going to do the same thing on the other side of this thing. We're going to push this into about 2 millimeters off of that corner, that break point. Right there. And again, we're going to, it just slipped on me. Right there. All right. So, scribe in our other edge. Right there. Get that to Proper depth. Here we go. All right, so there's our leading and trailing edge. Right there, you can see it in the highlight. Our leading and trailing edge of this box that we're creating, right? Our two outer points. Now, we need to scribe in the top of this box. Now, since we went ahead and extended the edges up above our little score mark just a little bit, we've got a perfect stopping point, or starting point and stopping point, right? So, and it's just above the scribing jig here. And boom, right there. That's our stopping point, and the chisel just comes to a dead stop. That's the beauty of slightly extending your panel lines above that score line. Yeah. All right. So we've got the groove set in for this box, and then we'll get everything to a proper depth. Okay, that looks like we've got good depth on everything. We're just kind of cleaning the debris out of the lines because you don't want your chisel to ramp on you. All right, we'll catch up in the chat here just a second. Let's get all that out of there. And there is our progress so far, right? Looking pretty good. There's what we're duplicating, and there's what we have so far. Now we're going to notch those ends out, and we're going to bisect that little bit that's left in there in just a second. But let's get caught up in the chat here real quick first, yeah? Let's see here. Scuffle! What up, Scuffle? He's got a question.
We have a question.
Hey. Scuffle says, stupid question. Scuffle, there are no stupid questions, only stupid answers. He says, but what was the base kit for this again? So, Scuffle, this is actually a P Bandai. This was the Hazel Reserve unit with the Tri-Booster backpack. And the cool thing was that you could turn it into a regular Hazel. You could turn it into the Reserve Hazel, which was just basically a GM Quel with a couple add-ons and the Hazel head unit. Or, which is what I did, turned it into a straight GM Quel, which I think is a truly underrepresented, underappreciated GM type mobile suit. And I just wanted to kind of make mine into a little bit of a badass. So, yeah, that's what we did. Anywho, Seth Builds, he says, yeah, I want it to be kind of deep after you sand it. He says, Seth has a question for us.
We have a question.
He says, do you do black or brown on your dark blues? Actually, Seth, this is not going to be a dark blue. We're not going traditional color scheme with this one. I mean, do I ever? No, the color scheme that we've got selected for the Quel are these two right here. So base color is going to be green. This nice Mr. Color. This is Field Green number 340, right? U.S. Marine Cobra, etc. Right there. Really nice green, and I've got like 4 or 5 jars of this, so why not, right? And then for the accent color, the secondary color, we're going to use Mr. Color 11 Light Gull Gray, right? U.S. Air Force aircraft. So, yeah, these are going to be the 2 colors. And, we'll have other accent colors, other grays and stuff. Maybe throw in, a yellow or an orange, just, for visual flair. And then obviously we're going to have, some fake lights on this, right? And those will probably be like red or something like that. So that's going to be the color scheme for this. But to answer your question, for dark blues like that, I'd probably go black, just to get a higher chance of contrast, to be able to see the panel lines. Yeah. Let's see. Riotous Axis 1 over there on Twitch. He wants to know if these are, 3D printed. These are 3D printed, but these are the USA Gundam Store Apex parts. That's what these little orange deals here. Yeah. Everything else is plastic, either modified or scratch built. But these little orange deals, these are USA Gundam Stores. These are Apex parts, yes. And I got a bunch of them, so I like to use them. Used those heavily on the shoulders here, which I think looks really, really quite nice. Use this big heavy plate here, and then some roundy bits on either side. And once that's, primed, painted, and all that, I think that'll look really, really very, very nice. Anyway, let's see here. Yeah, Ariel says those reds look like Apex. They are, yes. Plastic Peon Workshop says, sup, everybody? What's going on, man? Let's see. Seth builds over there on Twitch. He says, I'm going to give my GM Quel the Primrose. There you go. We need a Master Grade GM Kai now. Yeah, I mean, the closest thing we've got is the GMC, but it is an older Master Grade. And unfortunately, it's one of those Master Grades that do kind of show its age, right? There's several Master Grades, I should say a lot of Master Grades, that are perfectly fine from back then. The ground types, especially, perfectly appropriate Master Grade kits for their age, pre-2000. Some of them. And I think even still to this day, they are wonderful kits. Really, really good. So, yeah. Having an upgraded, like GM Kai or GMC, maybe a 2.0, right? Like they did with the normal GM, I think would be amazing. I would love it. But, let's see. Seth Bill says, ooh, facts. It's going to be kind of Spartaning. sort of. It's going to be the same color application as the Jesta. Obviously not the same color scheme, but the same color application. So, darker shoulders, chest. I may flip the script and do a green head instead of like the gray like I did on the Jesta. But upper arms, upper legs, definitely that light gray color. The feet probably like a medium to darker gray color. And then having that light gray accented here and there across the piece. So I think it'll look great, honestly. And this will be a member of the Frog gang. So Frog insignia is going on the shoulder, definitely. Yeah, so should be good. Let's see. Seth Build says, check out the little Armory line. They are solid for grays and blacks. Interesting. Yeah, I got a bunch of these Anchoret paints down here that I showed a few streams ago. And I might use some of those grays in this build. Maybe even some of the greens too, because some of the greens are a little bit on the lighter side. Like, come here, you. Like this one here. This is number 55. This is called Xeon Dark Green, but obviously it's not that dark. But as an accent color, I think it would look really quite nice. Yeah, I think that would look pretty sweet. Yeah. So let's take a quick peek at the viability of these as an accent color here. Now, obviously, these Anchoret paints need to be super thinned, right? Super thin. So there's the dark green. Get this shaken up a little bit because it's probably separated in here. And there is the green, the base green for the Jesta. I think those are super complementary to one another. Oh yeah, see, especially in the light there. See, that color combination, that'll be really nice. Just using this color as just little accents, you know, maybe on some micro panels, maybe on, you know, little, you know, divisions in the panel lines and stuff like that, I think will be, you know, pretty nice, I think. Yeah. So, there we go. Cap these. Let's see. Pop these two. Put this one back in its box. The one thing I like about Anchoret paints is they have these nice little boxes, right? So the paints don't go flying everywhere. And I just like the box. I like I don't know. I like the graphic design on the box. Me being a graphic designer, what are you gonna do, right? But yeah, I don't know. I appreciate those little things. So. Word up to Anchoret, yeah? Anywho, let's see here. Sparion says, yeah, to Michael Dawson, if you check the Alkyd resin on Encyclopedia Britannica, aka enamel paint, you'll see the early chemistry of the paints we use today, and the ammonia connection should be apparent. There you go. Seth builds to Riotous Axis. Check his VOD. He did a whole video on the Apex parts. They are dope. They are fucking amazing, yeah? And we're not going to go into a whole spiel about them, but yeah. Yes, sir. All the Apex parts. Now, mind you, I don't have them all, but I do have a bunch. So, shout out to Adam. Let's see. Riotous Axis has another question for us.
We have a question.
What about the scribing tool? What about the scribing tool, right? What about it? For chisels, I use good old BMCs. Yes, BMCs. I got a bunch of them. I am embedded in that particular ecosystem, right? Yeah. See, that's yeah. And I'm over the years you get collected and everything. But yeah, I use BMCs. Now, BMCs are great. I love BMCs. I probably would never switch. Fair transparency. But there are two other brands that I would definitely recommend. Obviously, Madworks. Madworks makes a very good chisel, whether it's the blade or the round bar, whichever one you choose. I actually have, the holder, the Madworks holder here, and this works very, very well. Designed by a company called David Union, which has amazing mechanical design, and then there's Disbay, which I've heard nothing but good things about. So both of those are definitely also recommended. I think no matter which chisel you go with, you're going to have a tough time right now because of shortages and things like that. But as you know, obviously, as the world starts to open back up, hopefully those shortages will start to ease in the coming months. But we'll see, right? We'll see. Seth Builds over there on Twitch says, love the Justice color palette. Yeah, it came out nice, didn't it? Came out nice. But thank you, Seth. Appreciate you. Let's see. Scuffle says, I hear the words Master Grade and Age and makes me still want the mythical Master Grade Gundam Age 3 that never came out. Yeah, right? For those of you that were looking forward to that, I feel bad for you. It just... Seth Builds, Anchoret is fire. Yeah, they are hella thick. Bishop Moshi over there on Twitch says, I can smell those pains through your monitor. Yeah, it was a bit pungent. I'm not going to lie. A bit pungent. Seth says, shit, those greens and that gull is going to look so good. Yeah, I think so. The Anchoret, I think will look really nice. Riotous Axis says those greens look nice. I think so too. Sparion on YouTube, he says, so much lighter than number 6 green. Yeah, where's the number... Do I have number 6 in here? I don't know if I do. What's that? That is, that's... Nope, that's 4. Nope, that's not it. What's this? Nope, that's not it. I've got like 14 of them. So, anyway. Let's see. That's... No. Oh, I don't have number 6. Shit. They were sold out at the of a lot of them at the time I placed my order, so I might have to go back for seconds. They're really good. Let's see. Chris Pabs, they got to sort out their Pantone accuracy though. Yeah, well the color accuracy on the website, yes. The color accuracy on the website and the color on the sample boxes, like Sparion says. Anyone else have the hard paper Pantone color sample boxes from some college course? God, I wish I could have afforded those. Shit, when I was in college, you know, like the Pantone color books and everything. Shit. Those when I was in college, those color books were like $200. Not for a kid on a part-time job trying to scrape through college, man. Ain't happening. Let's see. Seth Build says the presentation on Anchoret paints are so clean. They are. Sparion says just a bit. Adam says Adam is the best. He is the best. It's my boy. Sparion says, we saw that. Yeah. Number 6 is straight green. Dude, and yeah, probably the reason why I didn't get it is probably it was sold out at the time. Like, I was super hyped on the yellows and the oranges and stuff, but they were sold out when I went to order. So, yeah. It is what it is. I know Bella is getting more, obviously getting more in. I think she had mentioned in a post somewhere that she was waiting on a big refill that was in customs or something like that in Cali. I think that was a few days ago, maybe last week, something like that. So they should probably, Robot Kai and all the other, sellers of Anchoret should probably be getting a restock, hopefully, soon. Let's see. Krabby O over here on YouTube. Are those green scribing guides from Hi Craig? They are. Yes, my boy, Colin. Yes, these are Colin's scribing jigs. They're wonderful. Yeah, and Colin was amazing enough to send me the angled ones too. So, yes. Shout out to Colin for stealing my idea and making money off of it. No, I'm fucking proud of the kid, man. I'm super fucking proud of him, and I'm not. Trust me, and Colin, if you're watching this, trust me, I'm literally fucking joking about you stealing my fucking ideas. No, dude, I'm fucking proud of you. I'm proud of you. But yeah, so Colin, I used to make my own, right? My own little scribing jigs, and I still make a bunch of them, for bigger purposes and things like that, right? But Colin got the idea to 3D print it, and I couldn't be happier for him. He's really becoming successful with it. And yeah, they work wonderfully. They work wonderfully. His are better than mine, because his go in half millimeter increments, which I couldn't do because, number one, I don't have a 3D printer, and the strip styrene that I was using didn't go in half millimeter increments. So what are you gonna do? But excuse me. But yes, love Colin to death. Super proud of him, and wish him nothing but the best. Continued success. Hell yeah, it's my boy. Sparion says that crap was like money, dude. Right? Fuck. My one graphic design teacher, pulled out like his 3 or 4 color books from Pantone, and I remember I'll never forget this. And he says, "Yeah, this set cost me like $1,300." I'm just like, what the fuck? What? No. And it's just books. It's just books, just paperback books of, for those of you that don't know, Pantone is a company that makes standardized color in terms of printing and stuff like that. So if you've ever bought something with packaging, that usually means that it's, Pantoned, like a Pantone color palette. They standardize the colors across printing, avenues and stuff. So anyway, but they charge a shit ton for their books, right? Like I said, $200-300 per book. This guy pulled out like 4 or 5 of them, and he's just like, $1,300. Bang. I'm like, no. And all they are like little, like maybe 1 inch by 1 inch squares with the Pantone code underneath of it. And that's literally it throughout this entire book. And each page is like, I don't know, maybe 30, 40 individual squares. And the colors are just shifted just slightly. And I mean, you go through it, and I mean, it's obviously a rainbow, but you have coated, you have uncoated, you have all sorts of other weird varieties of paint. You've got your neons, you've got your metallics even that they standardize. And it's crazy. They charge an arm and a leg for it. But what are you going to do? Anyway, but Mecha Decals are Pantone standardized. So there you go. Anyway, Seth Build says, funny that you mentioned that we are stealing custom scribes from him. Hey, there you go. All right, let's get back to it, yeah? 11:37. Let's get the eyes back on. Let's reset everything. Let's go. We got some notching to do, yeah? All right. So, before we jumped over to the chat, we were replicating this micro panel across the top of that indented panel line there, right? And this is where we are so far, right? Got some leftover Dymo tape schmutz there. It's getting on my nerves. I can't do it, you guys. I just can't do it. There we go. You can see the color or the panel line a little bit better there too. But we're replicating that, so we got to notch out the ends of this little micro panel here. So for that, we're going to pull out the 0.60, and we're just going to go to town. Now, Holocausts. Hey, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the family. Welcome to the Mecha Army. Damn right. Yes, sir. All right. So, with that being said, we are going to notch out the ends of this with the 0.60. Now, since this box is so thin, this is not hard at all. This is not a chore. This comes out pretty easily, and we're just gonna kind of pick away at it, right? We're gonna start at the end, and the end part, honestly, is kind of the hardest part. It's like cutting a pie for the first time. That first piece is always the hardest to get out, right? Because you're gonna make a mess out of it. But then after that, everything's gonna go smooth. So that first piece, like a good pie, is the hardest part to get out. Now, we're just gonna whittle this out, and it's just basically gonna, we go in slices here, and this just will just kind of crack off and really easily come out. So we need just a little bit more. And once we get right up to kind of where we want it to end, we drive the chisel down into the plastic with a little bit of force, nothing crazy. You don't want to break the plastic, but we basically get that shape that we want, right? And then we just go about flattening out the bottom of this notch. And this really is just kind of the tedious part here, because you're just scraping the bottom clean, and you want to try to get it as level as possible, because even though you're going to have a dark panel lining fluid in here, there's still a chance that you'll be able to see any sort of texture at the bottom of this notch, right? So we want to get it as smooth as we possibly can. That's the idea. Just nice light passes. And we'll start to take down any sort of high points in terms of the texture. And after you know it, this will end up being pretty smooth. Or smooth enough. Remember, I always say, it doesn't have to be perfect. Nothing ever has to be perfect. It just has to be good enough, right? So if you want to win GBWC, you don't have to create a perfect model. You just have to create one that's good enough to win. All right, so that side is good. We're going to cut in the other side now. We're just doing the same exact procedure. Okay. Okay, now we just start scraping the bottom down here. And you see me kind of flip from one side to the other. That's important, because what'll happen if you don't do that you'll get a completely uneven bottom surface there. Floor of the notch, right? You want to flip it back and forth so that everything comes out nice and even. Okay. That looks pretty good. Nice so far. All right. Last step in this procedure is to bisect that little bit that's left, right? Because we're essentially, like I said, turning this into a micro panel. So I'm just gonna eyeball this, but you know, if you're not comfortable with that, definitely measure or use tape. But me, I'm completely comfortable with going freehand on this. Okay, got our groove set in. Now make sure to clear the debris, because this is such a short line. You don't want your chisel to ramp on you. Now, for those of you that have joined us from Ariel's stream, if for some reason you don't understand what ramping is or what that constitutes, when you're scribing, the end of your scribing pass, you've got buildup of plastic, right? And over the course of several passes, that plastic builds up at the very end of your line. And as it builds up, it forms basically like a ramp. And if you're not careful, that buildup will cause your chisel, once you hit it at a certain angle, to glide up and out of your panel line, and chances are you're going to mark or mar the surface around where you're scribing. So to prevent that, clear your debris out every few passes, and you'll drastically cut down on the chances of ramping. Now, will it happen in other cases? Yes. It happens to me all the time. But I try to minimize the chances of it happening. So these are just things that happen when you're scribing. There's no avoiding it. So just got to be careful. That's all. All right. So this looks pretty nice. Okay. Let's compare and contrast. Yes? All right. So the original, the copy. Not too bad. Not too bad. Little differences here and there. Little differences here and there that I'm noticing. This one on this side is a bit thicker, like taller. And I think the width of it is, I don't know, maybe the notches are a bit bigger on this one. But once this is primed and painted, you're never going to notice it. You're never going to notice it. Because these arms are going to be apart like that. Nobody's going to come around with a ruler and just be like, "Hey, this little line's a little bit longer." Yeah. But, you know, slight differences. Not worried about it. Not worried about it at all. Not even a little bit. So, it is what it is. And like I said, this is not a GBWC build, so I'm even less worried about it. This is just practice. So, Anyway, Brandon says, I need new chisels and more organization and another desk. And more kits. Always more kits. Nice. Kenneth says, size seems wider. Yeah. Yeah. There are definitely size differences. No doubt. But, again, not worried about it. Not even a little bit. It's still going to look just shit of good, right? Still going to look hella good. All right. Let's move over to these little notches here, right? These little guys. I think, I don't know, for some reason, I like these two little notches right where they are on both sides. They just, I don't know, they just add something there. It's like, it's like, kind of like locking mechanisms for this little cuff that we scribed out, right? I don't know why. Just feels that way. Yeah, just feels that way. Sparion says, just got all those Elgime kits. Mine is sated for a little bit. There you go. The thirst for new kits. Jesus. Oh, you know what? I wanted to show you guys this. So I got, you all know, I love my Insecure. My purple Bob Smith Industries Insecure 5 to 15 second glue. This is the standard, right? You guys know I love this. I wanted to try something different, especially with having to glue on the photo etch parts and stuff. You need to have a certain amount of time to position those, right? You do. So I went ahead and bought this here, and fucking custom label bullshit. Just there. Bob Smith Industries. Just imagine it's there, right? BSI. Boom. Just like that, right? Anyway, this is a 10 to 25 second cure time. Same CA glue, same super glue that we use, just a longer cure time, right? And I will say that using this, I've been able to position little parts and stuff like that much easier with the slow cure stuff than with the normal purple stuff. Now, obviously, I'm gonna use this like there's no tomorrow. This is my preferred super glue, right? This stuff is king in my opinion. I also got the super thin 1 to 3 second. Now, my mistake was I didn't see that it says super thin, right? And this stuff is as thin as water. Look, you can see it in the bottle, right? That's how thin it is. It's literally like water thin. And this is a 1 to 3 second cure time. I was kind of hoping, and this is my mistake, is that I didn't see the super thin on there until I got it. I was hoping for something a little bit thicker, mainly for the 1 to 3 second time, because this would be excellent to fill gaps, fix messed up panel lines and stuff like that, scribe lines and all. This would be great to fill in pre-molded details and stuff. But sadly, it's too thin for any of that. This is strictly a quick setting adhesive at this point, and I'm just kind of disappointed in it. Now, this would probably be really good really, really good for let's see, creating your own sanding blocks, right? Now, you guys know that I have, made my own little sanding blocks here. This is 600. It's got, some double side tape underneath of the sandpaper, and it's nice and big, for what it is, and it's MDF, so it's very stable. It's only, it's 1/4 inch thick, right? But here are the blanks that I cut out from a strip of it, and the MDF, for those of you that don't know, is super, super porous. So what I had to do for this was coat this with a layer of super glue, which I used the good old Purple Bob Smith, right? I'm kind of thinking now that this would be great for sealing up porous materials like this MDF, wood, all that. And you can see, I mean, just look at how quickly and how thin that stuff is, right? I mean, it's literally like water. But this works pretty decently, I'd imagine. I'm gonna have to give this a shot and see, but this is setting up. Let's see, and you can see where it's still wet and where now it's dry. And yeah, ooh, whoa, that's got some heat to it. Yeah, okay. Wow. It's got a little bit of heat to it. It's the chemical reaction, the curing process, right? That's wild. Okay, that's still a little tacky right there, but for the most part, once this is cured and sanded down, that might not be too bad. Yeah, let's see what it looks like on the top side here, because I just basically just went through and just spread out super glue all across the surface of one of these blank MDF pieces, right? Sanded it down nice and smooth, and you get yourself a sanding block blank, basically. Try not to glue yourself to the sanding block, though. Oh, strong, you guys. Woo, that is strong. Right up in your eyes. Worse than onions. And I mean, I'm not using a lot either, which is kind of nice, right? Ooh, yeah, that's super solid. Shit. Okay. I think I might have, oh, Jesus. It seriously is like onion. It's almost like caustic, right? So I gotta kind of stay away from it a little bit. Can't put my eyes over the fumes and all that. But yeah, that's kind of crazy. Like the bit that's left there, the stuff that's still wet is just kind of going across the stuff that's already cured, right? Let's check the... Yeah, see, that's all solid there. Man, that's a very quick curing super glue, I'm not gonna lie. But I think we just accidentally discovered a new super glue to create our sanding block blanks. There we go. Not bad. And obviously this all three super glues work with the Instaset. And look at the chemical reaction. Watch this. I'll put it right up in the corner here. I mean, you can literally see it cure, right? That's crazy. I don't know. I get geeked off these types of things. Look at that. It's just cool. I don't know why. Anyway. Oh, all right, kids. It is about that time. It's midnight. I got shit to do. Can't stay here all night with you. But we did some good things tonight. Showed you how to get all that, get those micro panels etched in. I think we discovered our new kind of tooling super glue, if you will, which is nice. And by the way, you know, if you want to get those super glues, it's in the Amazon link in the description. So yeah, definitely check that out. Kelvin Branham says you just discovered that woodworkers use to harden up punky soft wood areas. No, trust me, I've seen that for years, Kelvin, because I dabble in woodworking myself. So no, I've known that. I've just never used this, you know, water thin BSI super glue. So yeah, this one, like I said, this one was hardened up with the purple one. So now I don't have to waste the purple one. Win-win, right? Win-win. Anyway, all right, you guys, let's call this one a night. If you're interested in picking up that super glue, both of them, or any of the other tools and materials that we use here on a nightly basis, hit up the Amazon link below in the description, that side if you're watching on Facebook. Yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff in there, all those glues, all sorts of other tools and materials, books for streaming, or gear for streaming, books for inspiration, all that stuff. I do get a bit of a commission based off the stuff that you buy, but it does not increase the cost for you. It just goes to help out and support the stream. If you want to pick up one of these Jesta chibi shirts with the Jesta on the side, hit up www.chadamecha.com, hit the store button up at the top. You will find this shirt, hats, many more, prints of my work, all sorts of fun series like the Mecha Decal Insignia series, the Ace Pilot series, all sorts of fun stuff. So go load up on that. And then if you really want to show your support for what we do here, hit up the Chada Mecha Patreon page. A lot of cool stuff going on over there. We've got monthly giveaways, monthly hangouts, which is coming up. I'm gonna be scheduling that for this coming weekend. I'm gonna be doing the drawings for the giveaways here in the next couple days. So patrons, watch out for that. And yeah, a lot of whips, a lot of breakdowns, a lot of all sorts of other things on there that doesn't necessarily make it over to the normal social medias. So you definitely get a lot of content out of the Patreon. And then very, very soon, the patrons will enjoy a week head start on the podcast and also on the videos too. But like I said, getting the wheels on the train going round and round is the toughest part. So soon, very, very soon. Anyway, you guys, if you are interested in kits, tools, paints, accessories, Mecha Decals, sheets 1, 2, and 3, those are all in stock and shipping now right down here at our good friends USA Gundam Store. Adam and the fine folks down there will definitely have what you need, so go check them out. Anyway, I will be back here on Wednesday. Come on back if you want to. And then we're going to continue working on this and just try our best to finish this thing out. Yeah? So, with that being said, you guys have a wonderful rest of your night. Have a wonderful Tuesday. I will be back here on Wednesday. And yeah, be safe out there. Build something cool. And hopefully we'll have some winners to the clean versus weathered contest here very soon. Anyway, you guys have a great night. I'll talk to you on Wednesday. Bye.